How
Commander
Proctivile
Vexthal
are
stood
they?
on the bridge
They
of the
still
Eternal
use
Dominion,
Campo de
flagship of the
Railroads.
Carthian
We arrive in
Armada,
6 hours.
watching the blue marble grow larger in the viewscreen. Earth. The third planet from an unremarkable yellow star, home to a species that had only recently achieved faster-than-light communication. How primitive are they? Vexthal asked his tactical officer. They still use chemical rockets for orbital launches, Commander. Their weapons are kinetic and nuclear at best. Our scouts detected no shield technology, no plasma weapons, no antimatter drives. The officer's mandibles clicked in amusement. They won't even see us coming until we're in orbit. Vexthal allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. The Carthian Empire had conquered 47 worlds in the past century. Earth would be 48. The humans would make excellent laborers, and their planet's resources would fuel the next wave of expansion. Begin deceleration burn, he commanded. We arrive in 6 hours. 300 million kilometers away, in a facility buried beneath the Colorado mountains, Dr. Rebecca Morrison stared at her screens in disbelief. General Patterson, you need to see this, she called across the command center. The general approached, his weathered face skeptical. What am I looking at, Doctor? Gravitational anomalies. Hundreds of them, decelerating toward Earth. They're artificial, sir. Ships. Big ones. Her fingers flew across the keyboard. Mass estimates suggest each one is the size of a carrier group. Patterson's expression hardened. How long? 6 hours until orbit. Get me the president. And Morrison? He paused at the door. Activate Project Lighthouse. All stations. Rebecca's blood ran cold. Project Lighthouse wasn't supposed to be real. It was a theoretical weapon, something discussed in classified papers and late-night conversations between physicists who'd had too much coffee. The kind of thing you hoped would never be necessary. But apparently, someone had built it anyway. Vexthal reviewed the invasion plan with his war council. 2,000 ships would establish orbital supremacy. Kinetic strikes would eliminate major population centers' defenses. Then the ground forces would deploy, and the subjugation would begin. Commander, we're detecting electromagnetic activity on the surface, his sensor officer reported. Multiple locations are powering up large energy sources. Defenses? Vexthal asked. Unknown configuration. The energy signatures are unusual. They're not targeting us yet. Vexthal waved a claw dismissively. Primitive railguns, perhaps. Or laser arrays. Nothing that can penetrate our shields. Continue the approach. The War Council murmured agreement. After all, what could a species that still used rockets possibly do against the might of the Carthian Empire? Deep beneath 12 different locations across Earth's surface, humanity's secret hummed to life. Dr. Morrison watched from Colorado as similar facilities in Australia, South Africa, Norway, Brazil, Japan, India, Egypt, Canada, Chile, Russia, and Antarctica reported ready status. Project Lighthouse is green across all sites, she reported. Quantum entanglement confirmed. Temporal displacement field generators at maximum charge. General Patterson stood beside the president on the video screen. Dr. Morrison, you're certain this will work? Rebecca thought about the theory. Quantum mechanics suggested that every particle existed in multiple states simultaneously until observed. Project Lighthouse didn't just observe, it selected. It chose which quantum state became real. And if you could select the state of every particle in a given volume of space. Mr. President, we've run the calculations 1,000 times. If the Carthian ships enter the designated zone, we can retroactively ensure they never existed in that state. From the universe's perspective, they'll collapse into a different quantum outcome, one where they never survived their approach. In English, Doctor. We're not going to destroy them, sir. We're going to make it so they were already destroyed. The universe will, correct itself. The president took a deep breath. Do it. Vexthal watched Earth grow to fill half the viewscreen. All ships, prepare for orbital insertion in 60 seconds. The tactical display showed his fleet in perfect formation, 2,000 ships, the pride of the Carthian Empire, descending on an unsuspecting world. 50 seconds. On Earth, 12 facilities fired simultaneously. Exotic matter fed into quantum processors. Mathematics that would have seemed like magic a century ago became reality. 30 seconds. The space around the Carthian fleet began to shimmer, though they couldn't detect it. Probability itself was being rewritten. 20 seconds, Commander, something's wrong. 15 seconds, structural integrity failing across all ships. 10 seconds, we're breaking apart, Commander. The holes are just. But Vexthal never heard the rest. The quantum field had made its selection. In this universe, in this timeline, in this quantum state, the Carthian fleet had encountered a rogue gravitational anomaly during their approach. A micro-black hole, undetectable, had torn through their formation 17 minutes ago. The fleet had never survived long enough to threaten Earth. Reality rippled, adjusted, settled. Dr. Morrison stared at her screens. The gravitational signatures were gone. Not destroyed, gone. As if they'd never been there to begin with. Status? General Patterson demanded. Clear, sir. No contacts. No debris. No, anything. Did it work? Rebecca pulled up the quantum logs, watching the probability matrices collapse into a single outcome. Yes, sir. As far as the universe is concerned, they hit an anomaly during approach. They never made it to Earth. They were erased before they could become a threat. Patterson exhaled slowly. And the Carthian Empire? They sent a fleet to Earth. Their fleet never arrived. They'll assume catastrophic failure, maybe a navigational error. But they'll have no evidence of human involvement because we didn't do anything. We just chose which reality became real. Exactly, sir. 6 months later, Carthian probes finally reached Earth's system, investigating the fleet's disappearance. They found nothing but empty space and human radio broadcasts advertising television shows and selling cars. The humans, it seemed, hadn't even noticed they'd almost been invaded. The Carthian High Command made a note in their records: Earth system, gravitational anomalies present, approach dangerous, avoid. And humanity, having demonstrated they could erase threats from existence itself without firing a single shot, quietly continued their work on Project Lighthouse, just in case. After all, the universe was a big place. And humans had learned long ago that the best weapon wasn't the one that destroyed your enemies. It was the one that made them never exist in the first place.